Yes, that's a Tucker that you see pulling onto that dyno. In fact, that's Tucker number 34, the 34th of the 51 Tuckers that my great-grandfather, Preston Tucker, built back in 1948. You might be wondering why we're putting a Tucker on a dyno. And in this case, it's not to go make the highest power number that we can, which is what you see in a lot of the dyno videos on YouTube. It's so that we can verify that the engine is making the correct amount of power. Prior to doing this test, we did a lot of preemptive things like a leak down test, a compression test, checked all the fluids, things like that to make sure this car was ready to go on a dyno. And this is really the last step in us verifying that the engine is functioning as intended. So we're measuring the performance of the motor. And if things turn out the way that we want them to, we'll deem this, in the condition that it needs to be, so we can return this car back to as original condition as possible. We're working on it with kind of our partners in crime, Rob and Bob Ida at Ida Automotive. That's where this dyno test takes place. My brother and I, my brother Sean, I'm Mike. As I mentioned before, our great-grandfather was Preston Tucker. So together with Rob and Bob, we're embarking on this project with Tucker number 34. So we'll let you watch the video. We intentionally don't have any talking in the video because we think it's pretty cool to hear a Tucker on a dyno. So you'll hear the engine sound, and then I'll be back in the end to give you the results. So there you have it. That was the initial dyno run of Tucker number 34. We ended up making about 116 horsepower and 212 foot-pounds of torque. So as compared to the numbers back in 1948, we were about 30% less than those numbers. So back then they claimed 166 horsepower and 372 foot-pounds of torque. Now remember, there's two different ways to measure that. One is at the wheels and one is at the engine. So back then it was at the engine. This is on a chassis dyno, so we're measuring it at the wheels. we expect somewhere in the neighborhood of a 30% difference in those numbers, which we're in line with that, maybe a little bit light, but definitely where we expected. So we're very happy with the results of this car. If you like things like this and videos about Tucker and you want to learn more information about Tucker, please like and subscribe to our channel. We want to know that everybody wants more content on these cars. We have a lot more to share about Tucker number 34, along with any other Tucker out there. There's other cars, there's all kinds of cool stuff. So if you want to hear more about the story, please let us know. And our plan is to make as many of these as possible so that we can share everything Tucker that we know with the world.